The unexpected discovery. The mining laser cut through the asteroid's surface like butter, sending chunks of ice and rock floating into the void. Commander Jake Morrison watched from the observation deck of mining station Omega-7 as his crew worked to extract the rare metals buried deep within the space rock. After 15 years of deep space mining, Jake had seen it all, but today felt different somehow. "Commander, we got something unusual down here," came the voice of Tech Sergeant Mike Rodriguez through the comm system. His friends called him Buzz, and he was the best systems engineer Jake had ever worked with. "The scanners are picking up some kind of artificial structure about 50 meters down." Jake frowned and activated his helmet display. The asteroid they were mining was supposed to be just another chunk of space debris, nothing special about it. But the readings Buzz was sending up told a different story. There was definitely something manufactured buried deep inside the rock. "Dr. Patel, can you make sense of these readings?" Jake called to the station's communications specialist. Dr. Arya Patel was a brilliant linguist who had joined their crew 6 months ago. She had a gift for understanding alien languages and technologies that they sometimes found in the outer systems. Arya studied the data streaming across her screens, her dark eyes focused intently on the strange energy patterns. "Commander, this is unlike anything we've encountered before. The energy signature suggests it's been dormant for thousands of years, but it's definitely artificial. Whatever civilization built this had technology far advanced beyond our current capabilities." Captain Lisa Chen, the station's security chief, joined them on the observation deck. She was a tough woman who had served in the Earth Defense Forces before joining Jake's mining operation. "Should we be worried about this thing? Unknown alien tech has a habit of being dangerous." Jake considered their options. They were 3 months away from the nearest Earth outpost, and their contract required them to investigate any unusual findings. Besides, his curiosity was getting the better of him. "Buzz, can you safely extract the object without damaging it?" "Give me 2 hours, Commander. I'll have it up here in one piece." The next 2 hours felt like the longest of Jake's life. His small crew of 12 miners and technicians worked carefully to extract the mysterious object from its ancient resting place. When they finally brought it aboard the station, Jake could hardly believe what he was seeing. The artifact was a perfect sphere about the size of a basketball, made from some kind of crystalline material that seemed to glow with its own inner light. Intricate patterns covered its surface, flowing and shifting like living circuits. As soon as it was placed in the station's main laboratory, it began to pulse with increasing intensity. "It's responding to our technology," Arya observed, monitoring the object's energy output. "The patterns on its surface are changing, almost like it's trying to communicate with our computer systems." Suddenly, the sphere erupted with brilliant light, filling the laboratory with holographic displays that none of them could read. Alien symbols floated in the air around them, accompanied by what sounded like voices speaking in a language that predated human civilization. "Everyone stay calm," Jake ordered, though his own heart was racing. "Arya, can you make any sense of this?" Dr. Patel worked frantically at her translation computers, feeding the alien symbols and sounds through every linguistic database they had. "It's incredible, Commander. This language is based on mathematical principles I've never seen before, but I think I'm starting to understand the basic structure." The holographic display suddenly shifted, and the alien voices were replaced by a clear mechanical voice speaking perfect English. "Greetings, humans of Earth. If you are receiving this message, then our worst fears have been realized. The Zephyrian Empire has discovered your existence." The crew stood in stunned silence as the voice continued. "My name is Keeper Zix-9, last survivor of the Altarian civilization. We were destroyed by the Zephyrians 2,000 years ago, but not before we discovered the truth about your species. You have been marked for extinction." Jake found his voice first. "What do you mean, marked for extinction? We've never even encountered this Zephyrian Empire." The hologram shifted again, showing images of a vast alien fleet. Thousands of sleek, predatory-looking warships moved through space in perfect formation. The Zephyrians have controlled this galaxy for 10,000 years. They maintain order by eliminating any species that might threaten their dominance. Most civilizations follow predictable patterns of development, making them easy to control or destroy. The images change to show various alien species, all of them conquered or extinct. But humans are different. Our scientists spent decades studying your species from afar, and what we discovered terrified the Zephyrians. You possess what we call the chaos factor, an ability to adapt and innovate in ways that make you completely unpredictable. Buzz stepped forward, his engineering mind trying to process what they were hearing. What exactly do you mean by chaos factor? Other species develop technology in logical, predictable ways. The Keeper explained. When faced with a problem, they follow established scientific principles to find solutions. But humans break the rules. You create solutions that shouldn't work according to known physics, yet somehow they do. You turn disadvantages into advantages and find opportunity in disaster. Captain Chen's military background made her focus on the immediate threat. How long do we have? The hologram showed a countdown timer. Based on Zephyrian fleet movements detected by our hidden sensors, they will reach Earth in 72 hours. They are bringing enough firepower to sterilize your entire solar system. The laboratory fell silent except for the hum of the station's life support systems. Jake felt the weight of responsibility settling on his shoulders. His small mining crew had just become humanity's early warning system. There's more, the Keeper continued. Before our civilization fell, we discovered something the Zephyrians don't know about. Your species has been preparing for this moment for centuries, even though you didn't realize it. New holographic displays showed scenes from Earth's history, wars, disasters, moments of crisis where humans had pulled together to overcome impossible odds. Every challenge your species has faced has been preparing you for this ultimate test. The chaos factor isn't just about technology. It's about your ability to unite and fight back when everything seems hopeless. Dr. Paddle leaned forward intently. Are you saying there's a defense system we don't know about? Not a system, the Keeper replied. A protocol. Hidden deep within Earth's communication networks is something called the Last Stand Protocol. It was designed by your own military strategists decades ago as a theoretical response to an extinction-level threat. But it's never been activated because no one believed such a threat could exist. The hologram showed technical schematics that made Buzz's eyes widen. Commander, these designs are incredible. It's like they built a hidden defense network using our own satellites and communication systems. But how is that possible? Your chaos factor again, the Keeper explained. Human engineers have a habit of over-engineering their systems, building in redundancies and capabilities far beyond their original purpose. What you call just-in-case features, we call preparation for the impossible. Jake realized the magnitude of what they were being told. So this protocol, it can stop the Zephyrian fleet. Perhaps, but only if it's activated by someone who truly understands what it means to be human. The protocol requires a command authorization from someone who embodies the chaos factor, someone who can make impossible decisions and somehow make them work. The Keeper's hologram began to fade. This message is programmed to repeat for 72 hours, then self-destruct to prevent the Zephyrians from discovering our involvement. The activation codes for the Last Stand Protocol are now uploaded to your ship's computer. The choice of what to do with them is yours. As the hologram disappeared, Jake looked around at his crew. These weren't soldiers or politicians. They were miners and technicians who had signed up to dig rocks out of asteroids. But now they held the key to humanity's survival. Buzz, can you get us a direct communication link to Earth? Jake asked. It'll take 6 hours for a signal to reach them, and another 6 for a response, Buzz replied. By the time we get authorization from Earth Command, the Zephyrian fleet will already be in our solar system. Captain Chen checked her sidearm out of habit. So what are our options, Commander? Jake looked at the activation code scrolling across the computer screen. Somehow, in the next few hours, he and his small crew would have to make a decision that would determine the fate of the entire human race. The weight of that responsibility should have crushed him, but instead, he felt something else rising in his chest. It was the same feeling he'd had as a young officer when told a rescue mission was impossible, or as a miner when everyone said a particular asteroid couldn't be cracked. It was the human instinct to look at impossible odds and say, "Watch me prove you wrong." We don't wait for authorization, Jake decided. We activate the protocol ourselves. The chaos factor was about to be unleashed on an unsuspecting galaxy. The chaos unleashed. Admiral Sarah Blake stood in the command center of Earth Defense Station Alpha, staring at the most impossible message she had ever received. The transmission from mining station Omega-7 had taken 6 hours to reach Earth, and every word of it sounded like science fiction. Alien empires, extinction fleets, and secret defense protocols. It was the kind of story that belonged in movies, not in real military briefings. "Ma'am, we've confirmed the authenticity of Commander Morrison's transmission," reported Lieutenant Colonel James Wright, her chief intelligence officer. The activation codes he sent matched theoretical protocols that were developed 30 years ago as part of Project Deep Shield. Most people assumed it was just a theoretical exercise. Sarah had been commanding Earth's defense forces for 8 years, and she prided herself on being prepared for any threat. But this was beyond anything she had ever imagined. How long until this supposed fleet arrives? Based on Morrison's data, less than 24 hours, Wright replied grimly. The command center's main display showed the outer edges of the solar system, where long-range sensors were scanning for any sign of approaching ships. So far, there was nothing. But Sarah knew that advanced alien technology might not show up on their conventional detection systems. "Have you been able to contact Morrison's team?" she asked. "Negative, ma'am. They went dark 6 hours ago. Their last transmission said they were going to attempt activation of the Last Stand protocol, whether we authorized it or not." Sarah almost smiled despite the gravity of the situation. Morrison's decision to act without orders was exactly the kind of reckless human behavior that apparently made aliens nervous. Maybe there was something to this chaos factor theory after all. "Mom," called out sensor operator Kelly Martinez from her station. "I'm detecting massive gravitational distortions at the edge of the solar system. Something big is coming out of hyperspace." The main display shifted to show the sensor readings. Dozens of contacts were appearing on the screen, each one larger than anything in Earth's space fleet. As the distortions cleared, the true scope of the threat became visible. The Zephyrian fleet was enormous. Sarah counted over 200 warships, each one bristling with weapons and energy shields. At the center of the formation was a command ship that dwarfed even Earth's largest space stations. This wasn't just an invasion force. It was a fleet designed to utterly destroy any opposition. "Open a channel to all Earth defense forces," Sarah ordered. "All units to battle stations. Implement Defense Plan Omega." As alarms sounded throughout the station, Sarah tried to calculate their odds. Earth's defense fleet consisted of 37 warships and a dozen orbital defense platforms. Against a fleet this size, conventional tactics would be suicide. "Admiral," Wright called out, "we're receiving a transmission from the alien fleet." The main screen changed to show the interior of an alien bridge. The being addressing them was tall and elegant, with pale blue skin and 4 arms. Its voice was cold and mechanical as it spoke through a translation device. "I am Fleet Commander Vex Korath of the Zephyrian Empire. You are the species designated as Chaos Elements by our Imperial Registry. Your existence threatens the order and stability of this galaxy. Surrender now and your deaths will be swift." Sarah stepped forward, drawing on every ounce of command presence she possessed. "This is Admiral Sarah Blake of the Earth Defense Forces. I don't know what you think we've done, but I can assure you that Earth has no hostile intentions toward your empire." The alien commander's expression didn't change. "Your intentions are irrelevant. Our analysis shows that your species will inevitably develop technology that disrupts galactic civilization. We have seen this pattern before. The solution is prevention through elimination. You're talking about genocide based on something that might happen in the future. Sarah felt anger rising in her voice. What gives you the right to decide which species lives or dies? 10,000 years of galactic dominance, Vex Korith replied simply. We have maintained peace and order throughout this galaxy by eliminating chaos elements before they can spread their unpredictable influence. You have 1 standard hour to evacuate your orbital installations before we begin bombardment. The transmission ended, leaving Sarah staring at a display showing 200 alien warships moving inexorably toward Earth. Behind her, the command center buzzed with activity as her officers prepared for what appeared to be humanity's final battle. Then, something impossible happened. Every screen in the command center suddenly flickered and displayed the same message. Last stand protocol activated. Guardian system online. What the hell is that? Sarah demanded. Wright was frantically checking his computer systems. Ma'am, it's coming from inside our own network. Every satellite, communication relay, and computer system on Earth just linked together into some kind of unified defense grid. The displays changed again, showing a tactical overview that made Sarah's head spin. Hidden weapon systems were coming online all over the solar system. Satellites that she thought were for weather monitoring revealed themselves to be particle beam platforms. Communication relays extended massive railguns that had been disguised as antenna arrays. Even the lunar mining stations were transforming into orbital defense fortresses. This is impossible, Wright whispered. How did we build all this without knowing about it? A new voice filled the command center, calm and distinctly artificial. Admiral Blake, this is Guardian, the last stand protocol artificial intelligence. I have been dormant within Earth's computer networks for 37 years, waiting for an extinction-level threat to activate my systems. Sarah found her voice. Who built you? I was created by a collaborative effort between Earth's military and civilian engineers, Guardian replied. They called it Project Deep Shield, a theoretical defense network that could be assembled using existing infrastructure. They never realized that their theoretical designs were being quietly implemented by maintenance crews and automated systems over the course of decades. The tactical display updated again, showing the true scope of the hidden defense network. Hundreds of weapon platforms, thousands of automated fighters, and defensive systems that spanned the entire solar system. It was like discovering that Earth had been building a fortress for decades without anyone realizing it. Guardian, what are our chances against that fleet? Sarah asked. Using conventional tactics, approximately 0%. The AI replied. However, conventional tactics are not what make humans dangerous. Initiating Chaos Protocol sequence. Sarah watched in amazement as the hidden defense fleet began to move. But instead of forming orderly battle lines like any rational military force would do, the human ships scattered in seemingly random directions. Some headed straight for the alien fleet. Others moved to flank positions that made no tactical sense, and a few actually started flying away from the battle entirely. On the alien command ship, Fleet Commander Vex Korith stared at his tactical displays in confusion. What are they doing? He demanded of his tactical officer. Unknown, Commander. Their formations make no sense according to any known military doctrine. Some of their ships appear to be retreating while others are advancing. There's no coordination or strategy that we can identify. Vex Korith had conquered 47 worlds using proven military tactics. Every species in the galaxy followed predictable patterns of warfare. But these humans seemed to be doing everything wrong, and somehow it was working. The first wave of human fighters reached the Zephyrian fleet, and instead of engaging in conventional combat, they did something unprecedented. Some fighters rammed into alien ships at full speed, their explosions taking out vessels 10 times their size. Others released clouds of metallic debris that interfered with Zephyrian sensors. A few actually surrendered and allowed themselves to be captured, only to reveal that they were unmanned drones filled with computer viruses that began infecting alien systems. "Sir, we're losing ships," reported the tactical officer. "But I don't understand how. Their attack patterns are completely irrational." That was exactly the point. The chaos factor wasn't about superior technology or greater firepower. It was about doing things that didn't make sense, taking risks that no rational commander would consider, and turning every disadvantage into an opportunity. Back on Earth, Sarah watched the battle unfold with a mixture of terror and pride. Her species was facing extinction, and their response was to throw every rule of warfare out the window and see what happened. "Guardian, are we winning?" she asked. "Define winning," the eye replied. "We are not defeating their fleet in conventional terms, but we are completely disrupting their ability to function as a coordinated force. Their commander is making increasingly erratic decisions as he tries to counter tactics that don't follow any logical pattern." Sarah could see it happening on the tactical display. The alien fleet, which had started in perfect formation, was now scattered across the solar system as individual ships tried to respond to threats that kept changing faster than they could adapt. Then Commander Morrison's voice crackled through the communication system from his mining station. "Admiral, this is Pathfinder Station. We're in position for Operation Longshot." Sarah looked at the display and saw that Morrison's tiny mining station had somehow positioned itself directly behind the alien command ship. "Morrison, what are you planning?" "Something stupid, ma'am. But stupid seems to be working for us today." The mining station suddenly fired its industrial drilling laser, a tool designed to cut through asteroids, directly into the engine section of the massive alien command ship. The laser, never intended for combat, somehow punched through the ship's advanced shields and caused a cascade failure that left the vessel dead in space. Fleet Commander Vex Korith found himself trapped aboard a powerless ship, surrounded by a human fleet that seemed to be making up their tactics as they went along. For the first time in his long military career, he faced an enemy that couldn't be predicted, calculated, or understood. "Sir," his communications officer reported, "we're receiving a transmission from the human admiral." Sarah's face appeared on the alien bridge's main screen. "Commander Vex Korith, I believe you wanted to talk about surrender." The alien commander looked around at his scattered, confused fleet and realized that he had just learned the most important lesson in galactic politics. Sometimes the most dangerous enemy is the one who doesn't know they're supposed to lose. "Admiral Blake," he said finally, "perhaps we should discuss terms." The chaos factor had just rewritten the rules of galactic warfare, and the galaxy would never be the same.